Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. Let me tell y'all something, man. Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia, all these legal woes that are going on, man. Hey, they may never square off in the ring, but at least it looks like they can be squaring off in the courtroom. Let me tell you something. This just seems to be retaliatory, in my opinion. We all know Ryan Garcia went on record and basically voiced his frustrations with Golden Boy Promotions, De La Hoya. I mean, his whole team after the Tank fight. And he spoke very highly of Tank and Tank's team. De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia went back and forth on Twitter, right? For the most part, we should all be tracking on that. But let me tell y'all something. Ryan Garcia is trying to get out of his contract. Now, what he's saying is basically that there's a breach of contract. There are certain things Golden Boy promised was supposed to do, they're not doing. Now, if we take this back a few years, if you guys remember, Canelo kind of approached Golden Boy Promotions with similar concerns, but in this instance, Canelo sued DAZN and Golden Boy because they said, hey, I was promised a certain amount of money. My understanding, he was supposed to get the remaining $280 million, and that DAZN just didn't seem to be in a rush to try to pay him. And Canelo, in his prime, sat out the ring for a year. So Canelo sued to make sure that, one, he got the money that they were contractually obligated to provide him, and two, so he can get in the ring and fight. Canelo wasn't trying to duck anyone or not fight. He wanted to fight. Now, the thing with Ryan Garcia, when you look at what happened with Canelo, right? Not wanting to pay him money that they agreed to. The site fee, $40 million, $35 million, right? Whatever that number was. That initial fight was $15 million, and subsequent fights, I think $35 to $40 million. Anyway, they didn't want to pay him that. But it makes you wonder, what they were trying to negotiate how much money they would actually give Canelo. Instead of giving him what they contracted, give him something less. Makes you wonder, if they contracted a $40 million for a fight and they tried to negotiate a $20 million, what happens to that $20 million difference? Is that something where De La Hoya and Golden Boy could have pocketed, or the secret society? Who's going to get that money? But Canelo, he was a step ahead of him, so he sued. Now you look at Ryan Garcia. There was some issue with Ryan Garcia and the fact that he was going to fight on DAZN, and Ryan Garcia having to pay out of the $1 million, I think, purse or whatever, like 15% of that to pay just so he could fight on DAZN. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I never heard of a fighter, especially in this situation, where they have to pay out of their pocket or their purse to go fight on another network. So bottom line is, that created a bit of an issue with Ryan Garcia. And now he's basically trying to get out of his contract. Well, De La Hoya is coming now to sue, which I think is kind of bogus to sue Ryan Garcia, but he's not looking to sue Ryan Garcia. So the bottom line is, De La Hoya, he can't afford to lose Ryan Garcia. Outside of Ryan Garcia, I mean, what does Golden Boy have? They lost Canelo. Munguia is quality, man. Munguia can fight. He's tough. He got a good chin. But, it seems like the next step for Munguia is a big fight. But outside of that, you got, what's his name? Virgil Ortiz. But the bottom line is, they didn't handle Ryan Garcia right. And I'm going to tell you what the issue is. I truly believe that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, they feel like Ryan Garcia didn't listen. Maybe they feel like they rolled the dice on him, kind of going against what their true desires, which is, let's not put him in with Tank. And because now if Ryan Garcia would have won that fight against Tank, let me tell you, De La Hoya, Hopkins, the whole Golden Boy staff, in my opinion, they would have been all over Ryan Garcia. They would have probably put him on their shoulders and paraded him all around that damn ring. But because he lost, it made them look bad. And Oscar De La Hoya, a lot of people take a lot of jabs at Oscar De La Hoya. And Twitter is very, very disrespectful towards him. But bottom line is, I think, in my opinion, this lawsuit could be a little bit spiteful from Golden Boy, but also a little bit of, hey, you're not going anywhere. Because it's just like with Teofimo Lopez and Top Rank. Yeah, he can say he's retiring, but he still has, there's still a contract in place. So if he wants to retire, maybe he's allowed. I don't know what the contract states, but I know if he chooses to come back and fight, he's got to fight with Top Rank. That's one thing I know. But that being said, man, look, when it comes to this lawsuit, man, I'm going to go ahead and read something to you. This is an article posted by ESPN. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but ESPN goes on to say they obtained a copy of Golden Boy's lawsuit, as well as Garcia's demand letter. Now, the letter called for a mediation proceedings to begin, the week of July 10th, if Golden Boy didn't cure all the alleged contractual breaches and set a Friday deadline to address the alleged violations. But Golden Boy instead responded with a lawsuit. And they said, hey, they've been proud to have worked with Ryan Garcia for the last several years and kind of catapulting him to stardom. This is hilarious. And talking about how they single-handedly orchestrated the biggest boxing pay-per-view event in years just 2 months ago, which to me, they had a part to play in it, but come on now, man. De La Hoya is going to sit there, man, and he's just going to keep, pushing that narrative that it was Oscar De La Hoya that made that Tank Ryan Garcia fight happen. But he says, with this filing, we're seeking to ensure that Ryan and his team will honor the remainder of his contract, a contract that Ryan himself called one of the most lucrative boxing deals for a prospect in the history of the sport. So when you just look at that, the bottom line is Ryan Garcia wants to move on. And the reason he wants to move on, because Ryan Garcia right now, he's a legitimate contender. Ryan Garcia is a legitimate star. Ryan Garcia, he didn't need Tank to do. He and Tank benefited from fighting each other. The relationship was complementary. But I truly believe a lot of those fans were Ryan Garcia fans who are just from that world and wanted to buy the fight to see Ryan Garcia fight Tank. I do believe if Ryan Garcia fights again, I believe on pay-per-view, it doesn't matter who it is, I think Ryan Garcia will do good numbers. I do, because of his fan base. Tank Davis, I'm very optimistic. I hope the best for him, but I'm willing to say that Ryan will do more numbers pay-per-view wise than Tank Davis. And I don't mind being wrong, but that's just my opinion. We're having a conversation. But I'm going to tell you what, now that we know Ryan Garcia is a legitimate superstar, he can sell pay-per-view, and he's going to always have a great dancing partner, okay? Because Derek James is saying Ryan Garcia doesn't need a tune-up fight. Ryan Garcia is ready to go now. And he's training with Derek James. Derek James says Ryan Garcia is a hard worker. He's a great fighter. And again, you got Derek James out there who's trying to make some tweaks, make some refinements to develop Ryan into a complete fighter. And if he can do that, Ryan Garcia may be a problem, because while he's young, he still has that speed. He's got some power, and he got a little bit of a mean streak in him in the ring. Ryan Garcia could make some noise, okay? But what I'm getting at is, for Ryan Garcia, hey, he knows, and people I'm sure getting in his ear, that there's so much more he can do if he gets away from De La Hoya, get away from Golden Boy Promotions. You look at Ryan Garcia, he's kind of clean cut, good guy. No matter what you say, kind of quirky personality, but he's not trouble. When you look at everything with De La Hoya, his history, issues surrounding him, Golden Boy Promotions, the new girlfriend, the thing, the way that they handled that last fight, everything is just a problem. Like, Ryan Garcia doesn't belong over there, in my opinion. I think Ryan Garcia would do really good with Eddie Hearn. I think he would do good with Al Heyman. And I think he may do good if he just goes out and tries to promote himself. I really do, and I'm being sincere with that. But we'll see how it goes, right? But I'm just telling y'all. Remember, Canelo had a similar problem when it came to issues with money, breaches of contract, and Canelo's first opportunity to get the hell up out of there, he was gone, never turned back. Ryan Garcia, first opportunity, he's going to be out of there. And De La Hoya doesn't want that. He does not want that. He wants to try to put Ryan Garcia in other fights, big fights, because he knows the kind of money that a guy like Ryan Garcia can generate, because he's proved it. But that being said, we'll see what the future holds between these two. But these are just distractions, man. We talk about Teofimo Lopez and what's going on in his personal life, his professional life, Jamal Charlo. You know, a lot of these boxers, man, you know what I mean? It's very unfortunate. But for Ryan Garcia, I think he needs to get out as quick as he possibly can, because he has an opportunity to ride that wave and keep that momentum going into his next fight. And with the right team around him, I think Ryan Garcia can grow his platform times 10. And I'm being honest with you. That being said, man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents, in the breeze.